Forced to watch from the weighing room. We hope he's okay. We'll try and get an update before we come off air. Here's our Grade 1 feature of the day with Richard.
And the key earlier, I think, will be whether Thistle Ask, who's taken so many out of his comfort zone in lower grades, can do so here as well. And Thistle Ask it is who leads, with Jonbon alongside Gidley Park. L'Etiton will watch on. 3 in line over fence number 1, and Gidley Park being ridden forward, applying a little bit of pressure to Thistle Ask, who has settled down in the lead. Jonbon is third, and L'Etiton last of the quartet, and just encouraged to keep in touch with them in the early stride. So Thistle Ask has now got to the lead, and he's also got clear daylight and just begins to settle down in front. As a result, the field become more compact, with Gidley Park in second place towards the outside Jonbon. As Thistle Ask wasn't that fluent, neither was L'Etiton, actually got into the bottom of it, and Jonbon, who didn't jump overly well in the early fences when previously ridden by James Bowen, has jumped the first few really well as they head on towards the next. So Thistle Ask out in the lead. Jonbon a little bit more conservative there. L'Etiton does his own way of getting from A to B, is last of the quartet. So Thistle Ask, and this time Harry Skelton, rather than blaze away, is just trying to conserve some energy here. Jonbon comes right onto the leader's haunches. Gidley Park in third, L'Etiton in fourth place. So Thistle Ask will turn downhill, and this is where Mick mentioned the ground begins to fall away. Not too many of them taken on the severe descent. The second of this line of 4 is the steepest, and Jonbon's racing with plenty of enthusiasm in pursuit of Thistle Ask. Then Gidley Park, who jumped off disputing the lead. L'Etiton, notably Paul Townend, taking the horse out wide. He doesn't want to allow them too much rope, it would appear. He's taking L'Etiton deliberately wide, maybe in search of better ground as they race on towards the next. Thistle Ask from Jonbon. L'Etiton and Gidley Park, a mistake. Gidley Park just lost the back end slightly on landing there, and he's drifted back to be the rear alongside L'Etiton. So Thistle Ask out in the lead, Jonbon in second, L'Etiton on the outside in third, and Gidley Park just allowed time by Brian Carver to recover from that error, but he's also going to have to stop making them because he dragged his back legs through that ditch, jumped out to the left, and Gidley Park's going to be pulled up. Gidley Park has been pulled up after a couple of errors. Thistle Ask, Jonbon and L'Etiton are the 3 that remain. Again, L'Etiton just shaken up at the back of the pack. So Thistle Ask full of running at the moment. Jonbon second, L'Etiton 6 lengths down, just being nursed along by Paul Townend. Still plenty of distance to go as we reach the halfway stage. The MGM Clarence house pulled up Gidley Park as the runners begin to make the turn. Gidley Park has not been dismounted or anything, just those couple of errors, and Brian Carver taking the safe option. So Thistle Ask, Jonbon wrong there. Jonbon gave that a belt. L'Etiton just nudged along in third place, but still close enough. They're making their way up. Thistle Ask has run a big race here because he's got Jonbon and L'Etiton both just niggling along as they make their way up then towards the final ditch, which is 4 from the finish. Thistle Ask from Jonbon. L'Etiton just beginning to edge closer. Big leap by Thistle Ask, matched by Jonbon. L'Etiton, the body language now of Paul Townend is a lot more confident, whereas James Bowen is beginning to push along. Thistle Ask, 3 from the finish, over. L'Etiton reached for it, stretched for it, but the goggles come down. He's got 3 lengths to find. The fairy tale is on. Thistle Ask leads by 4. L'Etiton just being pushed along. Jonbon in third. Thistle Ask between 2 fences leads by 3 to 4 lengths, and now L'Etiton is having to be ridden. He's lugging to the side. Jonbon is rallying, and so far Thistle Ask is keeping up the gallop. 2 from the finish in the Clarence house. Thistle Ask is over. L'Etiton makes a mistake and comes down, and then there were 2 down towards the last. Thistle Ask for the fairy tale for the owners. Jonbon the fairy tale for James Bowen. A length between them at the last. Jonbon driven into it alongside Thistle Ask, who produces a mighty leap, ekes out half a length. Jonbon on the outside of Thistle Ask, and it is Jonbon who is proving the stronger. Thistle Ask in second place. James Bowen, redemption. The Clarence house again to Jonbon. What a dramatic half hour in the silks of JP McManus. Thistle Ask in second place, just looking back for L'Etiton, who has not yet, I'm afraid, got to his feet. Hopefully it's just a tired fall, but I'm afraid he is still down. Jonbon for James Bowen at 6 to 1, runs down the gallant Thistle Ask, only to finish in the Clarence house. And James Bowen, sat in the weighing room an hour ago, suddenly comes in for the ride on Jonbon and partners him to success at 6 to 1, when before he'd been beaten at 1 to 4.
Take a bow, James Bowen. Take a bow. That magnificent, gorgeous-looking horse, Jonbon. 26 runs, never out the first two, 11 Grade 1 wins, back-to-back wins in the Clarence House. Who'd have thought at the start of the season he'd be 6-1 to retain his title, but now we've got to keep our fingers crossed that Il Est Temps is okay. The green screens will go up here for privacy. He'll get the best possible attention. Let's hope he gets up in the next few moments. As Robin Land says, well done to a beaming James Bowen. What a racehorse, Mick Fitzgerald.
How brave, because he made a mistake coming out of Swinley Bottom that would be enough to stop most horses, but this horse isn't most horses, and his record, as you've already said, never out of the first two, when you consider he's racing at the top level and has done for many years. You know, this is and it's a moment to savour as well for the young man on board, because it was, like Sean Bowen said, it was the worst day of his life when James got beat on this horse at Cheltenham. For him, it is redemption, as Richard Hoyle says, and he'll enjoy this.
As will he. I mean, you talk about greatness needing longevity. He first won this race in 1996 with Big Matt. Isio, Taisu, Sprinter Sacra, Altior Shishkin, and Jonbon now twice has followed. And after all the drama that Nicky had before the race, the late switch of jockeys, they did it.
Well done. Well done.
They did it again. Thistle Ask ran a cracker in second, but what a late replacement that was, Sally-Ann.
Just walking in here with Jonbon, and he was marching around the parade ring before this race. I said it beforehand, he looked in incredible form, but James, what a late call up to get.
Yeah, it was. I'm really grateful to Mr. Henderson and Mr. McManus to let me ride him after how it went the last time, but hopefully I put things right anyway.
There was a moment there where he looked like he might be cooked, he might have given his all. Did you ever think he was going to get back up again?
There was a moment there where I was like, I was kind of going through the motions on him, thinking I wasn't going to get anywhere. But he come home strong anyway.
What does it mean to you to like sit on top of horse and this reception that you're getting, James, come in, the cheer when he hit the front again? It must be unbelievable.
Oh, it's a great feeling. Like you say, I heard the roll turning in when I could feel him gaining, and the crowd could obviously see it. So, it's brilliant.
Well, then we'll just have a word with Robin, because Robin, you live and breathe this horse. It must be so special for you to see him back-to-back wins in the Clarence House Chase.
It's fantastic. You know what I mean? He's been such a superstar. I mean, can't fault him.
Have you ever lost faith in him?
No, not really. Today is brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Well, you all were. Well done, team.
Robin, a big part of that team. Away on the left there, that's Paddy Murphy, who rides this horse on a daily basis, doesn't he?
Every single day, and even when you go and do some filming with him, occasionally Paddy will say, can you give me a few minutes, because he knows that the horse just isn't enjoying it. He knows he just needs time to relax. But this is fantastic for a horse like this to win a race of this magnitude. Well, it's just really.
Il Est Temps right now is getting the best possible treatment out on the track. As soon as we know more, we will of course let you know. We will keep everything crossed.